Today we are doing something kind of fun. Earthbrider is a brewery in Superior, Wisconsin. They make a precious material, Helles. And I know one of the brewers there. She used to be the head brewer at Thirsty Pagan. I had a chance to brew one of my recipes at Thirsty Pagan one time, and I have a video out there about that. But more to the point today is the AHA has worked with Earthbrider, and as you can see, there's a recipe. You can just Google this. I'll probably link it. It's for 15 gallons, so I've obviously scaled it down to my 5-gallon desired size, but I am gonna make this, and then hopefully at the end I will buy some of the commercial and kind of do a compare and contrast, just see if it's at all similar. So the recipe real quick, let's see if we can do this. 9.3 ounce pills, 1 pound Vienna, half a pound Munich, and 0.25 pounds Carahel, 1.3 ounce German Tettnang for 90 minutes. I'm not sure if I'll do 90 minutes, even though that is the recipe. I'll see. And then the rest of your, I bought 2 ounces, so 0.7 I guess is what I'll do. Maybe I'll just dial it up to like 1.5. Maybe that's what I'll do, just 1.5 for 60. And this says 1052. I'll see where I come in. I got about 11 pounds. It should definitely be around there. And the other thing is I did mash at 152. I did hit that. So it's mashing now. Pretty soon I'm going to be collecting the wort. And here we go. I have the yeast starter boiling, and this is going to be the yeast of choice today. I have used the Imperial Yeast Global strain before, and I enjoyed it very much. It has a little bit of a lower temperature range than some of them. I don't know if it's on here. It is on here, down to 46 Fahrenheit, so that's a little cooler. I said earlier in another video that I was using the Urkel strain because it had a little bit of a warmer range, but we are into the coldness now. So giving this one a try, and for this Helles Lager beer, it should be good. Alright, just rotated. Let's see here if we can get it back. So as you can see, we got right about where we wanted. I'm gonna get a definitive look, but it's about 1052, which is exactly the target gravity. Don't you love it when stuff works out pretty much as hoped for? Also, along those lines, I got 5 gallons. Pretty much dead on. And currently it is at 54, 56, and I believe the yeast temperature range goes into the 40s, and this closet is about 45. So that means once it's actively fermenting, maybe a couple t-shirts over it, should be in the upper 40s, which is right about where that nice spot in the range of the yeast temperature preference. So far so good. You know what? I did want to say one thing. I was a little cavalier with my disregarding of doing the 90-minute boil as the instructions call for. People might say, Don, why don't you do the 90-minute boil? Why don't you get the proper IBUs? Well, a couple things. One is this beer is not about the hops. It's not really about the bitterness. Yes, if you boil it extra 30 minutes, you are going to get more bitterness. And so we'll see. Maybe mine will be quite a bit less bitter than theirs. The other thing is the difference that it would make for my money. I'd rather just save the half hour. You guys do what you want to do. That's me. I'm going to get a beer that's going to hopefully be a yummy Helles. Maybe it'll be a little bit like the Earthbrider beer. Maybe it won't. We'll do a taste test. Yes, you can ding me on that if you want to. Go ahead. I did not do the 90-minute boil. I did a 60-minute boil. I upped the hops to 1.5 ounce, and that's just how I do it. Your mileage may vary. You can do what you want. It's your brewery, and that's the fun of it. So we'll get this thing fermenting, see how it comes out. So we're about 1 day and 4 to 5 hours after pitching. It says 44. It has definitely begun fermenting. It was even fermenting this morning. It's not going crazy because it is pretty cold. So I'll monitor it for the next 24 hours or so. I'm sure it's still doing fine, but I may have to bring it up to a slightly warmer room.
Okay.
There's like a red button.
Yeah, I got you. It's rolling video.
Oh yeah, we're rolling. All right. Chip's working the poor man's camera today. We're gonna do the precious materials Helles. We're gonna get ourselves a sample here, and then we're gonna go up and we're gonna taste it. It did get pretty clear with some time, I do believe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, joining me on this tasting is Chip and Paul. Cheers, fellas. We got a long, hard Sunday afternoon ahead of us of sampling beer. My beer was made on February 3rd. It is today, March the 24th. So that is about a month and a half. I did use gelatin, I believe. Finished at 1.008, stirring gravity 1.052. I believe the recipe from the precious materials that they gave to the AHA and which they published called for a starting gravity of 1.052. How do you like that? Final gravity 1010. Oops. I'm not really the best at. Yeah, I went a couple points lower. I don't know if I'm the best at I know it's kind of, you can do the mash temp. You can maybe do other things that don't really stop the fermentation for something like this. You stop. Now we talked off camera. I think they look similar. They're a similar color.
I think yours is slightly lighter. It is slightly lighter.
Is it? I think mine is a little clearer, which
Yes,
maybe
is
actually like, maybe, I don't know how you can tell the color. They're both like pretty light. Mine's a little clearer. If you think it's lighter, then I'll concede that.
Clarity might help.
There's
also
that.
like look some touch lighter. There's a slight bit of like haze almost to theirs.
Right.
It almost looks like pollen, like that dry hoppy pollen thing, which would not. I don't know where that's coming from because clearly not.
But the real factor is, I believe, when I got their beer in a cardboard, I was going to bring up the branding thing, maybe I'll go grab it. I believe it said it was packaged in October, I think, which is, 5 months ago. And so that means it was even brewed a month or two before that. So it is definitely older. I think I said this earlier, but if you're in the area where the beer is made a couple hours north of here, you can certainly get it fresher, I would imagine. Around here is somewhat limited distribution. But I do think they taste quite a bit of difference from the age. But I think that the recipe that they give you, if you make it, you're gonna get something that approximates.
I do like yours.
Thank you. I've been trying to
grainy, like earthy, hoppy. It's just kind of a nice German Tettning German what yeast?
I use the Global.
Okay.
And it has
I think it's a nice grainy.
It has a Arachlia Pills. Has a pound of Vienna, which I don't think I usually have in my Helles beers. I either have Vienna or Munich, but this has a pound of Vienna and a half a pound of Munich, and a quarter pound of Caramel. So I think it might have a little bit more sweetness, maybe, than some of my Helles beers, or than some Helles beers that you will just go by that are a little bit more crisp. Maybe not as hoppy as the Pilsner, but maybe not has much of a sweetness. Although Helles, I do always think of it as a little bit of a sweeter cousin to some of the lager families. You know, like the Pilsners.
What's the most dry?
Maybe like a German Pils.
Pilsner's gonna be drier. I think the water profile has a lot to do with the crispness too.
Oh.
And maybe the longer you lager, the more crispness comes out. You know, what I mean, that's the way I was gonna look at it.
Mine had a bit more of a slight buttery note. I think a little.
Yep.
I mean, it may now compared to this one, but even a few weeks ago it was maybe a little more pronounced, and I think it's dialing back.
Yep.
I kind of realized I can admit to people I don't have a lagering process where I am aging it in a cold room in a conditioning vessel, but when I get it in the fridge and I get it on tap, I try not to drink it too hard, and I try to have it around for a while, so I kind of let it lager on tap, and that's one reason why I like my lagers when they've been on tap for 2 or 3 months, and then they like really get into even better shape. And they're like drinking. They're like the smoked Helles that we had just had downstairs. I mean, that thing's just going just fine right now, and that's been around for a while.
Fantastic.
So I think this is fun. I mean, I think it's fun when breweries are willing to do this.
AHA. I didn't even wear this on.
Maybe I'm gonna go grab the box real quick. So they
coffee. That's a good
package it. Sorry, I have no idea what you guys were talking. I just come in hot. But they have these cool kind of woodcut drawings on their labels and on their cans. 10/25/18 packaged. So it could have been brewed a couple of months before then.
Yeah, so probably the beginning of September.
So it definitely has age compared to mine being brewed in February, but at any rate, it's a fair approximation. That's not a word. Approximation, experimentation. Approximentation.
We make it words around here.
You know what? We got a lot more beer to drink, so we're starting off good. Thank you guys for coming over, being part of this video. Don for Don. O for O. Catch you later. You don't gotta roll this. You guys just stop it. Just stop it. I not like you. I don't record.
This is what you put when you do the cowbell. Click, click.